Unit 5 tests events leading to the Revolutionary War. Question number 1. King of England during the Revolutionary War. General Thomas Gage, General George Washington, King George III, Samuel Adams, Paul Revere. Question number 2. Patriot that illustrated the Bloody Massacre cartoon and later rode through the Massachusetts warning the Redcoat attack on Concord. General Thomas Gage, General George Washington, King George III, Samuel Adams, Paul Revere. Number 3, British commander of troops in Boston, Massachusetts. General Thomas Gage, General George Washington, King George III, Samuel Adams, Paul Revere. Number 4, leader of the Sons of Liberty in Boston that organized the Boston Tea Party. General Thomas Gage, General George Washington, King George III, Samuel Adams, Paul Revere. Question number 5. American commander of the Continental Army. General Thomas Gage, General George Washington, King George III, Samuel Adams, Paul Revere. Colonists blanked all British goods they refused to buy them in protest of the Townshend Acts. Tyranny, standing army, boycotted, smuggling, indirect, direct, repealed, Philadelphia, partisans, effigies. Number 7. And blank tax is when the tax is included in the price of an item. Tyranny, standing army, boycotted, smuggling, indirect, direct, repealed, Philadelphia, partisans, effigies. Number 8. Parliament canceled the Stamp Act after colonists boycotted goods and intimidated tax collectors. Tyranny, standing army, boycotted, smuggling, indirect, direct, repealed, Philadelphia, partisans, effigies. Number 9. Colonists believed that the redcoats were a symbol of the blank of King George III. They represented his unjust use of power on colonists. Tyranny, standing army, boycotted, smuggling, indirect, direct, repealed, Philadelphia, partisans, effigies. Number 10. The First and Second Continental Congress met in blank, Pennsylvania to discuss what actions need to be taken with Great Britain. Tyranny, standing army, boycotted, smuggling, indirect, direct, repealed, Philadelphia, partisans, effigies. Number 11. Blank were patriot guerrilla fighters that would attack unprepared British soldiers. Tyranny, standing army, boycotted, smuggling, indirect, direct, repealed, Philadelphia, partisans, effigies. Number 12. Blank is bringing goods in the colonies without paying the required taxes. Tyranny, standing army, boycotted, smuggling, indirect, direct, repealed, Philadelphia, partisans, effigies. Number 13. Colonists burned blank to intimidate tax collectors. Tyranny, standing army, boycotted, smuggling, indirect, direct, repealed, Philadelphia, partisans, effigies. Number 14. A blank tax is when a tax is added directly to the price of an item. Tyranny, standing army, boycotted, smuggling, indirect, direct, repealed, Philadelphia, partisans, or effigies. Number 15. Blank is an army always ready to fight. Tyranny, standing army, boycotted, smuggling, indirect, direct, repealed, Philadelphia, partisans, effigies. Number 16. This act placed a tax on sugar, molasses, and other luxury items such as wine and fabrics. Stamp Act, Sugar Act, Tea Act, Declaratory Act. Number 17. A writ of assistance is a blank type of tax, peace treaty, partisan war tactic, open search warrant. 18. What act forced colonists to provide room and board for British soldiers stationed in the colonies? Homeland Act, Housing Act, Bunking Act, Quartering Act. Number 19. This act taxed all paper goods such as legal documents, playing cards, and newspapers. Stamp Act, Sugar Act, Tea Act, Papal Act. 20. What were the Townshend Acts? The British put taxes on imported goods such as glass, lead, paint, paper, and tea. The British put taxes on hotels and other lodging accommodations. The British put taxes on newspapers, magazines, and official license. The British put taxes on all goods not exported or imported on British ships. 21. On March 5, 1770, British soldiers fired on a mob of colonists, killing 5. This event was called the Philly Slaughter, Boston Massacre, Charlestown Killing, New York Bloodbath. Question number 22. What was the purpose of the Boston Tea Party? To protest the Intolerable Acts, to protest the Sugar Act, to protest the Tea Act and monopoly it created for East India Tea Company, to protest the Townshend Acts. 23. What acts punished the citizens of Boston for dumping East India tea into the Boston Harbor? Boston Red Sox Acts, Mohawk Indian Acts, British Retaliation Acts, and Intolerable Acts. 24. How did South Carolinians help Bostonians after the passage of the Intolerable Acts? They sent money. They sent 200 barrels of rice. They sent troops. None of the above. 25. Where did the first fighting of the American Revolution occur? Lexington, Concord, Massachusetts, New York City, New York, Charleston, South Carolina, Yorktown, Virginia. 26. British regulations such as the Stamp Act caused uproar among colonists. What was the main basis for the colonists' resentment of British regulations? Foreign alliances, colonists had no rights, taxation without representation in Parliament, local governments had no power. Question number 27. Who were the Sons of Liberty? Delegates sent to Philadelphia to draft the Declaration of Independence, loyalists to King George III, a group of men that protested British taxes and used intimidation and violence against tax collectors, a group that fought for Native American rights in the colonies. 28. What was a common method of protest used by South Carolina colonists in response to British taxation? Walking the plank, burning effigies of tax collectors, importing only goods from Great Britain, sit-ins. 29. How did South Carolinians respond to the Tea Act? Colonists bought tea from France. Colonists formed the Tea Act Congress. Colonists threw tea parties in Charleston and Georgetown. Colonists didn't mind the Tea Act because East India produced the best tea. Blank was a wealthy merchant in Charlestown, one of the founders of the Charlestown Sons of Liberty. He presented the Don't Tread on Me flag to the Continental Navy. Is that Charles Pinckney, Thomas Gage, Christopher Gadsden, King George III? Loyalists made up 1/3 of the colonial population. Loyalists are people who blank fought to gain independence from Great Britain in Parliament, remained loyal to King George III in Parliament controlling the colonies, supported the Stamp Act Congress, were members of the Sons of Liberty. Declaration of Independence. Question 32. According to the Declaration of Independence, which was not an inalienable right? Liberty, life, pursuit of happiness, religion. 33. According to the Declaration of Independence, how does government get its power? From the Creator, from the governor, from the king, from the people. 34. According to the Declaration of Independence, when is it permissible for people to change the government? When the government needs money, when the government has a new leader, when the government takes away rights, when the government becomes outdated. 35. Who wrote the Declaration of Independence? Thomas Jefferson, Samuel Adams, Thomas Gage, and George Washington.